We're here with Mythweaver Pock again. Thought I'd try something a little, well, slightly different today. I don't have my camera going. I just want to play the strongest thing ever and kind of prove my point as to why in the past 3 days I've gone 65 and I think, was it 65 and 4? Or something completely ridiculous with Pock. I play this a lot just off stream because it gives you your fastest wins, and it really emphasizes this is above and beyond the strongest thing you can do in the format. I see a lot of Pock decks running fight effects, like Blizzard Brawl and whatever. That I think it's a complete waste of space. I don't think there's any reason to run those. You can just ignore your opponent and just play lands, right? Like the reason Golos is really good is it always plays itself with its mana that it tutors up. This can do the same thing. You can also just not cast this when you get 4 mana and cast an explosive vegetation style effect or any other kind of ramp spell. So when you do cast it, and if it does die, it has a very easy time of casting itself again. You have every single thing, like if ramp spells are the strongest thing you can be doing, then you just kind of run them all, right? Like you just have so many ways to do the same thing. It's extremely consistent. It's also, one color, which helps. Basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of these cards are basically the same thing, just 2 lands on turn 1. There's quite a few people I noticed just concede if you do that, right? Analyze the Pollen is basically your much easier version of Traverse the Ovenwald to just throw in here, right? This is one of the newer cards that came with Pock. Wasn't around last time I played it. I think the weakest card in here is probably Skull Spore Nexus for like one of the big payoff things, because it really doesn't give trample to Pock, right? And it also is one of the few cards in the deck that really likes Pock already in play, right? You already have Last March and Rishkars and Traverse and Scapeshift that really like your commander in play, but the most of everything else doesn't really need this in play. If you have a Tireless Provisioner and you're going crazy with land drops and stuff, you can just draw your entire deck on turn 6. I don't know why Pock is not in the tier 1 bracket, but it will never play against like Keenan, Sithis, certain things like that. I'm not going to name them all, but you know what I mean. The 5-mana Nicol Bolas, stuff like that. You're not going to play against the strongest things. You will play against Malcolm, which is a little rough, right? But there is Cavernous Souls. I don't recommend the 1 mana can't be countered elf thing or the 2 mana can't be countered green spell thing. They're not going to show up in every single blue matchup, and they're not always going to be enough anyways. I just don't like highly situational cards, Veil of Summer, stuff like that. But this deck is just very, very strong. It punishes everything. I've won through extremely efficient openers, like they're on the play with a Thoughtseize, and then they have a Fatal Push for the elf, right? So I'm just knocked away back to playing Honest Magic, and I still completely trampled my opponent, and it just didn't matter. Archdruid's Charm basically has 4 modes. It searches for a land and a creature. Both of them are very different things to do, and both of them are extremely significant. Whether you're finding Ulamog or you're finding one of your toolkit lands or something, both of them are completely fine. It also has a Naturalize, and it has a Fight. It's, I think, the only Fight in here, probably the only targeted removal spell in my deck other than Ulamog, I think. Well, I mean, Nissa Naturalize and stuff, but yeah, and it just... Your opponent's just always on the back foot when you're playing Pock, and it's just unforgiving. So, let's see how many games we go. Let's just see how many games it takes us to lose like 3 games. A Server Rack, alright. It's a combo deck. It can do some early disruption, too. What up? Luckwuck. A Lucka player in chat? Is that what this is? Alright, this is surprisingly a pretty moderately not great hand, but if they don't have an answer to Nissa with a discard spell, I can probably take out a lot of their artifacts. This deck is very artifact heavy. I like a server rack. It's pretty cool. Hopefully we don't cyberbully our opponent too much, though. Okay, sure. We get 1 whole damage this way. Look at that. There's an argument to just casting Nissa next turn and not Pock, but I can also just do whatever I want. I'm doing alright. How about you? Just sitting here playing, playing the strongest, most degenerate thing in the observable universe. It's kind of risky. I don't want to instantly lose. I think I'm just going to see if my opponent concedes when I cast Nissa and just naturalize spam my opponent's cards. This is just really, really good. They basically have to kill it. And then Kogla is another source of naturalize spamming. This is a pretty uphill battle for an Asura rack deck. Oh, they just ran something into it. Oh, this is so... I'm so sorry, opponent. I'm so sorry. I'm just cyberbullying them. You know what? I'm also going to keep the tempo going. I'm going to actually do this on a land and just make life... Yeah, alright. This is... this is too much. Alright, we have one of our 1-drops. It's one my opponent can't stop, so it's a pretty straightforward hand here. Okay, second Forest. Second Forest. What do I play right now? I think I'm actually going to play the second Forest here. I think that makes sense. Alright, they have their own thing with stuff. This taps for mana normally. I kind of wish I had Pock in play already, but before I played one of these, but it's just not always going to happen. Okay. This is the turn where my opponent basically, I'm demanding Pock interaction. They do not have it. Oh, they still could. They still could. Alright, looks like they do, whether it's Lightning Bolt or Swords to Plowshares, but we can play a land the same turn we play this, so we don't really care. I can just play it 2 turns in a row. Oh, unless it was Mana Tithe. Unless it was Mana Tithe, then I guess I would have been hosed. Yep, we were correct. It's not really, it literally could not be any other card in the game. Except, Fractured Reality? Or whatever it's called. Alright, well, now my opponent gets to cast their commander. Okay, they can also just play that. I mean, they'll probably just play their commander, though. Or both. They can now do both, sure. It's not too bad, though. So hopefully we find a land. If not, it's not the end of the world. We still have 2 triggers of Pock between the fetch lands. Okay, I didn't find a land. Oh no, these are fetch lands! I can't spend the mana. Ooh! I did the big dumb. Alright, so I can play an army of Skute Swarms. Can I take a turn off? I feel like playing this is probably just better. So let's do that. And guarantee 1 trigger right now, and then hold the other for next turn. Yeah, alright. I forgot. That's the fetch land that does not tap for mana. I got confused between these two. I jacked it up a little. Atali. Alright. Well, that's one of their better hits. I usually just farm Pantlaza too. This is actually really bad. Oh boy. Your injured knee right now, pretty much out of it. Spamming through videos last days. No problem. It's what I do best. This is, I think, the 3rd time ever I didn't have my camera going too, but I'm lazy and I look ugly right now. Conjure game, alright, sure. This might be a loss. It's looking like a loss. It's hard to beat all that, honestly. I can make an army of Skute Swarms, though, and that might actually do something. But I don't know if we can play Pock again. But unless my opponent does something about these Skute Swarms, it might not really matter. Might not matter. Okay. Are they just gonna dump a... Nope, they're not. I was gonna say if they're gonna dump a fight or something. Alright, this can shut down Atali, which is pretty useful right now. Because I'd rather not lose to the other side of that thing. Okay, I didn't find a land. Why would I, right? So we'll just make our own lands. So we have an army of 1/1s. We did it! Look at that! Fun it was over it. No indestructible 11/11 trample. And, yeah, unless they have a sweeper, which would hose their own board, it just doesn't matter. It's so stupid. Opponent's mulliganing for their best opener possible, as is tradition. I do have an explosive turn next turn as well. Yep, that's all this deck does. But we are way, way, way ahead. And hopefully it stays that way. Oh, not you too. Come on. No way. No way you have double ramp on 2. What? Oh, wait. Okay, that doesn't just instantly work. Okay, alright. All is well. Alright, Kogla will actually kill Pock, and then we're just super, super, super far ahead. Their Pock is a 4/4? Yeah, it doesn't even kill Kogla. And then, unless they deal with my Pock, they deal with my Kogla, it'll actually blow up some of their own stuff here. So let's lead with land. I can even fire up the thing here. I can actually do that. I guess I will. Alright, yeah, that doesn't matter. Look at that. Mirror breaker. Oh, goodness. Alright, we have the best opener again. Do I wait a turn? I can just play this. Let's see. Won't tap. Alright, then. Shoot. I know. How can you not want to play against a mono green opponent? What's wrong? It's like great. What's up? What's good? Oh no. Opponent. It's not that bad of a matchup. Come on now. It's not that bad. It's not like I just win turn 4 through interaction. Through actually a quite significant amount of interaction too. Pock is dirty. Alright, so again, not the best opener this time, but we do have the Skute Swarm, and then we have a Paradise Druid. We're also on the play. I don't hate this. Tap land on turn 1 with Pock is pretty sad, but it is what it is. You must have a 1 or 2 in your hand or the game is over. Oh, I've played against the right Jeff. I've played against this person before. I think they just went to 5, probably for extreme interaction. I would assume so. It looks like a discard spell. Yep, I was right. Extreme interaction. This actually only has 1 target, and I don't care about it, so we got lucky. I'm actually going to hide the card that I drew, and they probably would have taken it with the rest, but I think this is fine. That can be kind of sketchy. I'm actually going to block this. I'm going to block it. It looks weird, but I don't want that to continuously hurt me. That can be a problem as this game goes on. Okay, that certainly is not. Alright, so we get Pock value. So if they kill it once, we just get it again. We still have Shire Terrace, which cracks for a land. Wait, I thought this enters tapped unless you... No, the ability just can't be used. Okay. Chain Whirler. Oh, okay, sure. Alright, we did find a land, so this game got very difficult for our opponent. I'm not going to play Ronus. Sure. Death Touch, Flying Haste, other creatures you have, blah, 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 sure. Other creatures you control have Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage, destroy that plane. Alright, Death Touch for Planeswalkers. So Chain Whirler would basically sweep my board, essentially. That's adorable. Is there any fancy forest? There is not. I don't think I can kill them with Pock triggers this turn, but maybe... Actually, hold on. Wait a minute. We will make so many Skute Swarms, they're just dead now. Ronus giving Trample to Pock is more damage, but I don't think that's even necessary. Yeah, this is just lethal without Pock. Good thing I caught that. You know what? Just for the sake of it, I'm going to give them all +2/+2 because I drew this. Oh, that was so loud. Oh. Oh, yes. Oh, I love it. I will let Pock go to the graveyard out of moral support. Yep. That's a lot of damage. Oh no, we don't have the best opener. What do? We're on the draw too? Oof, against Mono Red. Alright. Mono Red with a 1-drop too. Alright. We got our work cut out for us here. What does this do? Equipment, treasure, blah blah. Alright, so just treasure. I guess I glimpse the chord, or do I Haven? Haven gives me more draws at lands? Maybe that just makes more sense. This can add mana on the turn I play it later, but I think it's fine to do it in this order. I'm probably not playing Pock next turn. I don't think I am. I think I'm going to play a ramp spell, because Pock on as a 3/3 is not very good. And I feel like I might have time to not instantly die to this, so we can probably get away with not playing Pock next turn. Because there's plenty of cards they can have that ruin my life. So play you and you? Or do I play this? No, I think we play this. Yeah, this makes sense to me. So my opponent gets another turn of whatever they want, and then hopefully we get to start doing things. Not ideal, but I know Pock will just die, and that doesn't make any sense to just let happen. Oh, now we're discarding. Okay, we didn't do that last turn for whatever strange reason. They did not discard last turn. What did they discard? Combat damage, skewer, counter, blah, blah, blah. Alright, random aggro. Okay, wasn't really expecting that. And they also didn't cast Swift Spear pre-combat. Oh, they must have drew it off of their trigger there. Makes sense, I guess. Alright, so you... Okay. Yep. And then I play Oracle? So I maybe avoid drawing lands? Yep. Don't... Pock's value is not in just getting the triggers at this point. It's just a giant thing in play. This stops the Swift Spear, maybe. Or just some damage. Oh, no, it doesn't. They can put the counter wherever they want. Never mind. So we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. Okay. We're almost to the point where my opponent can't do anything. I think what I'm gonna do here is play this, getting the Skute Swarm again, so we search and we gain 7, or do we nullify my opponent's turn? Gaining 7 gives me more... I'm gonna gain 7. I'm gonna gain 7. The secret mode. And then we get Skute Swarm and potentially win the game. Where are you? Because there's so many blockers in Skute Swarm, my opponent can't do anything about it. They can't do anything about it currently either, so... And we will crack this because we can play additional lands if we find them. Off the top. Oh, look, we found one. Alright, so my opponent basically can't attack anymore. And we're at 15, so... They need, like, Goblin Chain Whirler or something weird. Nope, and nope. Nope. Alright, so I'm gonna mass block, because there's not really any reason. There are so many Skute Swarms, they're just dead, it doesn't matter. Crater Hoof is just always going to kill them. Do, 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 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3 here. 1, 2, 3 here. 2 here. Oh wait, no, I don't have to do that. I can just block with Oracle. And yep, there you go. I take 2 damage. No, their commander doesn't have trample. I don't take any damage. And Crater Hoof is lethal. I'm gonna just get more Skute Swarms. Why not? Why not just enjoy our triggers while we get them? There you go. Oh, they tried so hard to stop Pock too. Like, they literally 2 for 1 them. No, they 3 for 1 themselves. Because they had to sack a thing for the voltage surge, right? So this is a good example of if you're going to play Pock, make sure you get at least a trigger off of it, right? So casting a ramp spell first was a very good idea. And my opponent had to dump a ton of resources to kill it the first time. And then from there, I didn't even need it again. So, rip to the mono-red player. There's no need in playing Grazer without another land in hand anyways. Okay, I did find a land. Yep, just cast this. I think I will scrapyard one of these cards, probably the Spore. Makes sense to me. I don't think the Spore is super useful in the mirror. Maybe it is, but I don't think it is. Opponent did not cast Pock and chose to do this instead. Interesting. Very interesting. I can just get rid of Explore or something in my hand and just cast it gives me a land trigger next turn, but I do have this. Maybe I don't want to do that. Kalani Garden. Bring in the spice. I like it. Alright. So this is for 5. Not the best, but not the worst. can still pretty easily, like, lose. I don't see a reason to hold my land other than the scrap yards, so I guess I will hold my land. Now, our opponent does have the option to draw and play a lot of very significant things here. Sure. Okay, I would say that's significant, but Pock can obviously just recast himself pretty easily. But I don't have an answer to the leveler as the game proceeds, other than a scrapyard token, which gives things indestructible. But as it stands, I am losing this. Does that help? Kind of. Okay. I must do this now if I am to survive. So we gotta do this. Which means I can't spam it. But that's neither here nor there. Alright. So Solar Phyrexia's text says everything's indestructible forever. So they have to deal with me in different ways, which is certainly possible. Okay. Beanstalk Giant is pretty big. I mean, it's kind of just like another Pock. Sort of. Not really, but... in the same vein, I guess. Okay, if they swing with Leveler, I would be very happy. If they didn't read Solar Phyrexia, they probably should not attack right now. Oh, they're swinging. Oh, I love it. Oh, they're swinging. Yes. Yes. Oh no, opponent. This is not going to work out too well for you. Okay, this is great. I did not expect to get this, so we do this. Oh, yes! Yes! Okay, I took out Topiary Stomper and Skullspore Nexus for Defense of the Heart, because it's just basic, sort of like another Tooth and Nail, and we are running Tooth and Nail, which it should have been in here. It was just, I kind of overswept it. And the other card we put in was, what did I just put in here? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I put in the Ramunap Excavator, except it doesn't count as your land drop. And the reason I'm playing this one, other than the fact that it lets you essentially play 2 lands a turn, is I think on average we will expect at least one card that puts a land in our graveyard per game. I think I counted there was 15, anywhere from 14 to 16, depending on how many times you count Scrapyard. Like, you know, Harrow even, right? Just I think on average I should have one way to put a land in the graveyard, and then from there this card does everything I need it to indefinitely, right? Usually, unless they answer said thing with a graveyard hate or something. So I think that makes sense. Let's try that. Oh, it's Pock again. Look at that. Alright, well, we know Pock will win this game. On the play with a pretty demoralizing hand for the opponent. Mulliganing for their 1-drop. Such is tradition. Oh, they didn't have it. Oh, rip. I guess I just channel this. I can channel it whenever I want, so I don't have to channel it right now. Pretty poor turn from me. Alright, well, it's mono green. I don't have to be concerned with anything playing Pock on 4. Sure. green. And then this. I mean, there's no way on earth you block. Don't think you can do that. So Defense of the Heart is 3 creatures. My opponent will only have 2. We also have a... Oh, they have both Childish Trap. Wait, why didn't they play that first? They could have got a clue. Right? Yeah, they missed their clue trigger. Well, that's sad. Alright, let's make 7 trillion land drops here. At least they have to block with one of them. It is kind of weird. Maybe I didn't want to block or swing because I want them to play 3 creatures for Defense of the Heart. But playing it still means it's something they have to consider. Because if they ever don't respect it, I basically win instantly. So, that's nice. I also don't have to play any more lands if I choose to get Skute Swarm. Obviously have enough lands to play everything I ever want. Yep. I think this is maybe another example. This seems to happen a lot in the Pock Mirror. I think I'm just in general favored in the Pock Mirror because I do not play goofy, random, slower cards. Like Demolition Field, you don't care about what your opponent's lands are doing, and this actually triggers your opponent's Pock. I don't even like this. Up the Beanstalk means you're playing a heavier deck, right? More top end. I mean, you must. It doesn't even trigger off your own commander. I don't like Up the Beanstalk in Pock here. Did I even play any card that would trigger it? Oh, I guess I did play one. Alright, we have the new card and our average expected outcome. Really nice. Do I play it on turn 1, though? Escape Tunnel? I probably do. I can get it back later, right, with this recon, so I'm not too upset with it getting, like... They're not really going to interact with my graveyard, and I think that's fine. Just to guarantee that I have a perfect curve, because otherwise I don't want this to be my 3rd land drop. I think it's worth it to just play it on turn 1. Well, they have it. The strongest thing you can do. They mulliganed for it, too. Because you probably should. Playing against Pock, after all. Alright. I don't want the Cobra to die, so I'm going to play this. They do run a fair amount of removal that I'd rather not run into. Alright. I guess we're done. Okay. Alright, I guess Pock is now just in the mirror void, just like Atali was. This is a little disproportionate to what I usually have happen. I don't usually see Pock this much. Maybe it's just the times, like, when I play, like the time era or whatever. Oh no, it's got hexproof. I can't interact with it. Alright, so we play you. We play you, and we pass. Okay, that was notably not a Pock cast. That's pretty nice, I guess. Riveteer's Outlook. I don't like the forced fetch ones. I'm not running those ones. Not too big of a fan of them. Opponent, again, did not cast Pock. Very interesting. Alright, opponent's got an idea, and we're ready to find out what it is. I can get Skute Swarm. This is a Pock matchup, so I guess we'll just play Skute Swarm. There's not much my opponent can do to stop me from totally destroying them with it, so... Yeah, there's not much my opponent can do at this point. Skute Swarm is, again, in the mirror is just so devastating. Skute Swarm can save you against a Craterhoof Behemoth attack, because you can just make 200 tokens. Vivian. Ooh, this is the one that plays off the top of the deck, I think. Not sure. About to find out. Really, 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 really good hand. Yep, it's the flash one. Do we have the turn 1 green lightning bolt? Oh, we don't? Oh no, opponent, what's wrong? What's wrong? I just played a 1-drop. It's a common. What's wrong? What's the big deal? They are in the removal colors and the ramp color. Oh no! Oh no! Please be a discard spell. Please, please. Ah, oh, shoot. Oh wait, no, that's not a ramp spell. Alright. Not ramp, not discard. Don't care. You into you. And then next turn, I can play Evolving Wilds, but I also can play Cultivate. Don't think I'm playing Pock next turn. Elias Core is pretty spooky. Well, can be. I think we're actually going to play Cultivate. And then Evolving Wilds, and then hopefully we just ignore our opponent, Rishkar's into Oblivion. But it also might not go that way. We'll find out. I assume there's some kind of removal spell. Shire's Terrace is actually a pretty good draw here, because it lets me... No, it doesn't. I was going to say, does it let me play this? I don't think it does. There, tap that, this, get 2 of these. It does let me play this, but... Alright, I'll play this, and then I can Elvish Restoration, and also have just played a fetch land, so I guess that's fine. They can kill it in response, but I think they'll do that pre-combat if they choose to, otherwise they can't really swing too effectively. So we get our restoration value here, probably. And boy, is it a lot of value. Uh-oh. Untap land. I don't like it. Sure. Yep. And then you surveil 2, and then you whatever you don't put away, you draw and lose life. They kept both cards. Kind of spooky, scary. They didn't mill them for their commander or something, which they could have. Alright, so we have all the mana in the observable universe. I think it's safe to play a non-fetch land this turn. Just if it matters with this Rishkar's. Alright, it doesn't matter to our opponent. Opponent's like, nope, you're not drawing 13 and casting a free 5-minute card, so that is that. Look at that. See, we don't need all the fancy tools. You don't need all that stuff. All the, like, oh, you know, draw a card every time I play a creature. You're like, no, just play Pock and win. I literally have gone 60... 65 and 5 or whatever. Like, I don't lose. I lose in the mirror, I guess. I lose in the mirror. Alright, Anzarag can get spooky unless I get massive really fast. They're on the... Ooh, no, we're on the draw, too. So Anzarag can kind of two-shot you. So, it's... combat can be tricky here. They do not have a turn 1 ramp spell, which is good. They have a turn 2 ramp spell. Not ideal. So tap, tap, land, haven, you. Alright. They play Anzrag this turn, I play Pock, and then hopefully I don't die. It's pretty easy to die. It's pretty easy to die. Play Roiling Regrowth on our opponent's turn. Again, we're probably not going to block this turn. Unless it, like, they have a card that forces me to do so. Then I can't really do anything. The fight would kill their commander. Okay. So I'm going to need a bunch of food tokens, probably. This is looking pretty sketchy, though. Play this, land. Yep, this is better than anything else I can do, so. Treasure, copy, and then I have 1, 2, 3. I already have 4 mana, so I can actually play both of these. Alright, I have 1 food token, so I'm at 19. Which is not dead to double strike Anzrag, which is notable, I guess. They need something to get through Pock. And it looks like they have it, so we're just going to take 9. They did not leave themselves dead. To each non... Okay. I suppose of all the things to kill right now, I should probably kill... Okay, actually, no, they just got rid of it. Alright. They got rid of it. So be it. Very well. Let's play Pock again. This naming Shaman an elf? Doesn't really matter. And I can just play this, so I will. Alright. I have not much to be excited about, but we're not instantly dead. Not upset with that, I guess. But their Anzrag could struggle to kill me, but we are kind of locked into not being able to swing back, is the problem. Because then we'll just die. I couldn't afford to draw that just now, that's really bad. I don't think making a wolf makes sense, because my opponent could force me to block with it, and that could be a problem. But I think we're actually locked behind Anzrag here. I have outs, but I need to draw them this turn, right? That gives reach, but then they can fight the Grazer with Domri here, and then we're dead. So they... I think I'm dead. Hold on. I could scare them into a block. Let's see. I think scaring them into a block is better. Alright, they didn't block. Alright, we have our first loss, and it was against Anzrag, too. It's actually quite surprising. Speaking of Power Pock, what is this? Mill, permanent you control, croak counters. What? Okay, that's kind of cool. I'm not playing Pock next turn. Well, they're not. I don't know. I kind of don't want to, but if they have like a Frogify or something, that it wouldn't really matter anyways. Ugh, all these fetch lands. My triggers. No reason not to do it now. Just get around counter magic. Kind of hope they just play their commander. They did not. Dang it. Okay, they left only Wash Away up, which I am not going to respect because I can cast Pock again next turn anyways. Okay, they didn't have it. I guess I'll play 2 Scavenger Grounds against what apparently is some kind of graveyard shenanigans. I will not play Rune of Might. I like it as a surprise kill. I mean, it can draw, but I can't cast whatever I draw anyways. Sure. Well. Alright, so it's probably ideal to leave up Scavenger Grounds indefinitely. I could deny my opponent's ability to swing, but I have to, you know, win this game as it goes, and I think trading damage is fine. Still have to obviously win the game. So we tap 1, 2, 3, 4... Oh, hello. Oh, I want to play it so bad. I want to play it so bad, but no, I gotta leave out Scavenger Grounds. When does this happen? You may play. What is exile crow counter? Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then Scavenger Grounds. So they don't get triggers. I think that makes a lot of sense. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? I certainly don't. Swiftfoot boots. All right, we don't really care about that. We don't really care about that. Okay, so we 1, 2, 3, 4. Play you. See what's on top. Something that's pretty decent. Let's play land. Let's do 1, 2, explore. I'm not going to cast Nissa this turn. Phase is out. Wait, what? Okay, so I just can't swing with it? Sure, don't think that changes anything, really. Play another land, and then... I guess I'm not playing Rune of Might, then. Play another land. And we can't cast this if I choose to leave up Scavenger Grounds, which I think is much more important. I think my outs involve not dying to Frog. 3 lands, don't care. Alright, we do not have to use Scavenger Grounds this turn. None of this matters. Field of Ruin does stop my Scavenger Grounds, but I think it's served its purpose at that point. Can't see myself as being too concerned about it. I would rather not draw Guardian Idol. Pock is not in play, so I don't get a Pock trigger, but that doesn't matter. Alright, well, we just drew a much, 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 much better card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, they don't have an answer, so yeah, this is probably over. Play you. Actually, it quite literally is over if I choose to give it trample and they have nothing. So, let's see if they do. They might even scoop to last March. Last March also probably just makes my opponent stop playing. No, it doesn't. Alright. Sweet, we get to do all the cool stuff. Yeah, why not? Why not just put this in play and draw my entire deck? I love it. Yeah. Now we get to play basically all the lands, right? We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Tiamat. Ooh, spicy. I don't like relying on Lotus Cobra that much. There's a lot of sweepers. No fetch land for this. I do have Skute Swarm against sweepers. Fine. I'm on the play. This is a weaker... This is below average hand, though. I don't like relying on Cobra to stay alive. We do have regrowth. We're not totally screwed if it doesn't. Alright, it didn't die, so we play this. I'm going to respect Wash Away, because I probably should. Oh, yeah, I guess it can swing. Guess it can swing. Alright, that's a pretty good sign. Good means I get to play this card. Play this card. Green, green. Play this card? I'm going to play this now, so I get to cast my Recon, and there's a land in my graveyard, so might as well. But I will not play the Skute Swarm, as I don't want to lose it. Alright, your chance to repeatedly kill Pock is probably long since past. Yeah, I don't want to play Skute Swarm because of sweepers, but I probably don't have a choice. If they're going to sweep it, they're going to sweep it anyways. Right, it's not like it's going to... I'm not avoiding that. Can't use that mana on my upkeep. Alright, my opponent either just didn't... Wait, they had a Doomscar! It was a Doomscar! Like, you're fine. You just take 10, 11, 12, 13... Wait. 11, 12, 13... You just take 13? But you had the answer. You had a Doomscar. I was right to respect it and would not have cast Skute Swarm. I don't believe I would have. Because it's basically lethal next turn anyways. But yeah, I guess it just couldn't stop me. Okay. Okay. Teamer is pretty good at drawing its entire deck very quickly. That's kind of all it does, really. Skute Swarm, sure. Like me a good teamer deck. Let's play this. Because there's a chance I do not draw an additional land, and I obviously would like to have 4 mana. Let us cast Le Vastwood Selge. That way, nothing bad can happen when I go to repeatedly cast my Pock. Girth Spiral, Sorcery, Speed. Oh my goodness. Actually, I don't even care if Pock gets countered, really. Maybe I kind of do, actually. Yeah, I probably do. So, this is a must-answer threat as well, so let's see if they have it. Nope, they don't. Alright, so it could be Tail's End or something like that, and it's probably very ideal to avoid it. Oh no, my Mana Dork. That isn't Skute Swarm. My opponent leaving up Lightning Bolt or something? What is this? Oh, it is! That's adorable. Love to see it. Oh, yes. Alright, well, opponent, you must have a, an answer here. You just have to. Otherwise, this is GG. River's Rebuke or something like that obviously works. And the fact that they did not concede leads me to believe they probably have it. Yeah, they must have something going on here. Hour of whatever, or River's Rebuke, extra turn loops, or whatever weird combo they might just do. I don't know. Okay, that's not it. Discard any number of lands. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just throw a bunch in there. I'm not going to let them damage Pock and then have it die to whatever they might cast, so... It just went into the ground. That's funny. Yeah, looks like that's all she wrote. That's just too much. Oh, Skute Swarm's just better than Ulamog, dude. Just better than Ulamog. Oh my goodness. Sure. Skididdly-dum, diddly-diddly-day-diddly-dum. Skididdly-doo, diddly-diddly-day-diddly-doo. Let's respect... No. I will not. I'm gonna say respect Spell Pierce, but nope. You can fight me. Not doing it. Alright, so I play you, play land. Kogla's pretty good. Let's see what happens when I play this, though. Sure. Opponent's probably never going to cast a spell on their own turn. They could have tapped the not command tower. That might have made some more sense to me, but they didn't do that. I can cast Pock twice through stuff. So we can actually cast it and then exile it here. This actually works really nicely. I can use it to get the Analyze the Pollen trigger. Oh, they just didn't have a counter spell. Or it was a soft counter and I could pay for it with 2 mana. That's awesome. Nice. Well, sometimes that just happens, huh, opponent? Sometimes they just cast it in the face of your card that doesn't do anything. Love it. They already burnt the hard counter on the other card, the Fight Rigging. So, get schmeedit, my friend. Get schmeedit. And then we take 8, 9, 10. We take 37. We take 37. Alright, my opponent did actually kill me. That's actually insane. Alright, well, right exactly on the 2-hour mark, we lost the last game. Isn't that really funny? Right on the 2-hour mark, we lost the 3rd game. Yep, there's nothing I can do, so we're just dead. That is an unbelievable survival and, like, crackback from the opponent. That is insane that they survived. Okay, so exactly on the 2-hour mark, like 2:00:00 on the exact 2-hour mark, I lost my 3rd game. I said I would stop playing when I lose 3 games, and it happened to take the same amount of time I usually stream, which is 2 hours. So I went, I don't even know how many wins. It was like 25 wins or something. Let's see, I got well past the 15 wins. I got past the 15 wins. I don't even know at what time mark, so it'd obviously be way better than 15-3. And that's just the nature of it, right? Every time I had a turn 1 ramp spell on the play, it's essentially like playing Ragavan on turn 1, except you have like 6 Ragavans. It's basically the same thing. It is so powerful, you basically can consider it the same thing. You could see games where I wanted to not play Pock when I had 4 mana to respect counter magic or removal spell. It is totally fine to simply just cast a ramp spell instead. And then if they do counter Pock, you can just cast it 2 turns in a row, right? Or, kill it. Then you just kill it, cast it 2 turns in a row anyways, with both of them coming with a trigger if it is a removal spell, because it had already resolved. They can't kill it while you're thinking about what land to put in your into play after you had cast it. I think I proved a pretty good point that Pock is really not interested in random creature jank stuff. I see it in every Pock list. Obviously, if you go out of control, you're gonna win with all your weird, goofy creatures that do all weird, goofy stuff, especially in the mirror. If it's just like gummed up, your weird cards may pull ahead. But usually Skute Swarm is more than enough anyways, and nothing matters past that. So you don't really need all those strange cards. I see a lot of Pock players playing a lot of fight effects and random stuff. Up the Beanstalk. I don't even like Up the Beanstalk. It doesn't even... I don't have many cards that draw off it anyways. I don't think it's good. I just don't think it... You would rather it be something else. Now, honestly, just kind of an Explore. It's better than Beanstalk in my opinion in this deck. But to each their own. This is above and beyond the best commander in the game. There's not really even anything close to second place. Maybe you can make an argument for Ratabrick, because it seems to do a good job at comboing pretty quickly, and may ignore Pock and be able to just do its own thing. I didn't play against Ratabrick today. I have beaten it plenty of times with Pock, though. More than I've lost. But if there was a second best deck, that might be it. I've never really played like a refined list of that one. But I think Pock needs to go to tier 1, which is half the reason I made this play session what it was. I just wanted to kind of emphasize my opinion that Pock does not really belong anywhere outside of tier 1. It would suck to see it go, because I like all the quick wins for the day. There's always going to be a... Oh, shoot, I dropped everything. Technical difficulties. There's always going to be a best deck, and there's nothing you can do about that. Right. It's just the power gap between the first and the second is actually quite notable in this format. I don't really know what I would take out and put in. I do like the Nissa, that is the 3-mana Lotus Cobra, or just another Tireless Provisioner, Nissa. I don't even know if I own that one. This one. I think this card probably should belong in here, because that landfall add a mana trigger is just really good, and it's basically the reason you play Tireless Provisioner anyways. So this should probably belong in here. The rest of this card doesn't really matter anyways, like the second time it resolves, Elf or Elemental, that's not really gonna... I don't care about that at all. But if ever there was a card to maybe put in here that's not in here, that's probably one of them. And you could probably take out Courser of Crewfix. Playing lands off the top is pretty decent. Gaining life, it doesn't matter that much. But making it so you don't bump into a land for your draw is, it's kind of like just cheating a card off the top that you're not going to draw, or surveilling it, scrying it to the bottom, except it goes into play. And if you don't have a land in play, or in hand, then obviously getting a land trigger could be quite useful. But this should probably be Nissa in the long scheme of things. I think that makes more sense. That ability is just stronger. I don't want to make any room for fight effects. I find them completely useless. The myriad of fancy lands are basically free in a monocolored deck, because they all sort of do the same thing. They tap for mana. You don't want to play on turn 1 if one of these things is a thing you want to do, but that's not really a big deal. In fact, that almost never is a problem. You could probably even run 5, up to maybe 5 more fetch lands, just to, really get the recon and additional pop triggers on your opponent's turn. But I never really had a problem with that anyways. I never found myself, begging to have triggers constantly. Just Pock as sitting in play. You don't even really need land triggers on both people's turns. You know, just your turn is good enough. Casting a ramp spell when Pock is dead is good enough. So anything on top of that is just it's just bonus and not super necessary in my opinion. I don't think I got a single game where fight rigging came up in this 2-hour window. Excuse me. But hardly misses. In fact, it almost really can't miss because even a ramp spell is kind of fine. Yeah, that's about it. I think this is unyieldingly powerful, and I think this list specifically that I've got brewed up here is among the most powerful because it seems pretty favorable in the Pock mirror, while also getting rid of the jank that is like either win more, which was not necessary, or only good in gummed up scenarios where you're both staring at each other and you don't really want to get into that position anyways, and you still can just win through that without all that weird jank. You can just play Ronus, Surprise Trample, Rune of Might, Surprise Trample, top deck, maybe not this as much, Rishkar's Expertise, or Last March, or Nissa to kill your opponent with 17 forests, or Craterhoof out of nowhere, right? Even Ulamog is a top deck, not winning you the game, but, you know, pulling super far ahead is fine. So, just, you know, weed out, trim the fat, and I think this is what it looks like. And this is really, really, really good. So, let me know what you thought about it. If you have a Pock list that is substantially different or goofy, let me know. If you agree with me that Pock shouldn't belong here, also let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.